Job 38. Then the Lord answered Job out of the whirlwind, and said, Who is that darkeneth counsel by words without knowledge? So when God shows up in the whirlwind, he automatically refers to knowledge and Job's lack of it. So the connection is with the whirlwind, knowledge, and God.
The spiral on the top of our head where our spirit entered, the hair grows in that anosesque, which is the continual growth direction, just like these markings on the fingers, on the fingertips. So it is that when the spirit enters that area of the body, it leaves that hair growing in that continual growth direction, which we call anosesque.
Whirlwind knowledge equals 216 in simple gematria.
What is this 216 number, Saul?
Excuse me?
You asked me if I had seen a 216-digit number, right?
Oh, yeah. You mean the bug. I ran into it working on pie.
What do you mean, ran into it?
Max, what is this all about?
There are these religious Jews I've been talking to.
Religious Jews?
Yeah, you know, Hasids, the guys with the beards.
I know what they are.
I met one at a coffee shop. It turns out the guy is a number theorist. The Torah is his data set. He tells me that they're looking for a 216-digit number in the Torah.
Torah is just a long string of numbers. Some say that it's a code sent to us from God.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's just kid stuff. Check this out, okay? The word for the Garden of Eden, Kedem. Numerical translation, 144. Now the value of tree of knowledge, all right, in the garden, right? Eitz HaChaim, 233. 144, 233. And you can take those numbers. So
you know, like the Fibonacci sequence?
Fibonacci.
Fibonacci is an Italian mathematician in the 13th century. If you divide 144 into 233, the result approaches theta.
Theta?
Theta. The Greek symbol for golden ratio, golden spiral.
Do you not think an angel rides in the whirlwind and directs this storm? This work continues. The story goes on. And an angel still rides in the whirlwind and directs this storm.
You remember the painting by Michelangelo, very famous, showing God appearing to Adam and reaching out and touching finger to finger like the finger of God? Well, take a look at what God is in the Michelangelo picture. Yes, some interpretations of Michelangelo's The Creation of Adam in the Sistine Chapel suggest that the figure of God and the surrounding drapery are depicted in the form of a human brain. So in the picture you see the idea of the finger of God touching man, right? And the idea that this is intellect, the spark of life from God in the mind.
No, that was a good size twister. What was that, an F3?
Solid F2.
See, now you've lost me again.
It's the Fujita scale. It measures the intensity of a tornado by how much it eats.
Eats?
Destroys.
Little encounter we had back there is a strong F2, F3 maybe.
Bet we see some F4s today.
That'd be sweet.
4 is good. 4 will relocate your house fairly efficiently.
Is there an F5? What would that be like?
The finger of God.
None of you have ever seen an F5?
Just one of us.
So we go back to the number 216, which is 6 times 6 times 6 equals 216. And then when you add 216 to its reflection twice, plus 612, 828, do it again, 828. you get the year of Noah's flood, 1656. Okay, now how do we link that to this year, even a date? Go to the last day of the Feast of Trumpets, 9/24. 9 times 24 is 216, folks. All right, so now we got it linked to a date. But then you take 9/24, add it to its reflection, 429, 1353, which is our key number. Because if you multiply it twice, 1 times 3 times 5 times 3 times 1 times 3 times 5 times 3, you get 2025. So we have it linked to a date and a year. And also, when you multiply it once, 1 times 3 times 5 times 3 equals the number 45, in which Enoch equals 45, raptured. Elijah equals 45, raptured. Daniel equals 45. It was all about Jacob's trouble the last 42 months and the Antichrist. Psalm 45, there's a royal wedding between Jesus and the church. Genesis chapter 45, there's a great deliverance. Adam equals 45 in Hebrew, and he was the beginning, declaring the end from the beginning. And 45 times 45 equals 2025, because it's the square root of 2025. Square root equals 726 harpazo in Hebrew gematria. When you take the age that Adam was when he passed away, 930, subtract it from the year of Noah's flood, 1656, you get exactly 726 years apart. 726 harpazo. And again, I showed how Adam is linked to 2025 because his name equals 45 in Hebrew, which is the square root of 2025. And Noah's flood is linked to 2025 because when you take the dimensions of the ark, 300 cubits, 50 cubits, and 30 cubits, and multiply them twice, 300 times 50 times 30 times 300 times 50 times 30, you get 2025 with 8 zeros. 8 being the number of people that got in the ark, 8 meaning new beginnings and eternity. So, I mean, I have so many revelations, and I know you guys have seen some of these before, but there's just so much stored up in my mind that I just have to get it out. Then, as you can see at the top, Genesis, the book of Genesis has 1,533 verses. You multiply that twice, 1 times 5 times 3 times 3 times 1 times 5 times 3 times 3, you get 2025. And that is because God declares the end from the beginning. That is the beginning. Also, Daniel 12:12, blessed is he who waits and arrives at the 1,335 days. You multiply that number twice, you get 2025. And even the number for harpazo, caught up, what we call the rapture. If you take 726, add it to its reflection, 627, again, you get 1353. Just multiply that twice. You get 2025. Multiply it once. You get 45. And we've been through the meaning of those numbers. So, I mean, I don't know how many times to put it. I'm just going to keep putting these revelations. There's so many. Put them out there. That this is the end. This is the beginning of the end of the world. Don't be deceived. And most likely it's going to be the Feast of Trumpets. Feast of Trumpets in Hebrew is called Yom Teruah. Yom Teruah rapture is 225 in simple gematria. Shorthand for 2025. If you just multiply that by 9, you get 2025. Feast of Trumpets is also called the head of the year. Head of the year equals 726 harpazo in English gematria. So we will meet God in the air. We are meeting him right now, even every day in the whirlwind that is attached to our minds. Because he appears in the whirlwind, and he comes down in the whirlwind. So it's going to be this year, harpazo, most likely the Feast of Trumpets, and then the Great Tribulation will begin. Even more and more deception, and all of those things. So don't let anybody fool you. Go back, just look at the numbers, do the calculations yourself if you want. Screenshot things, please. share this video, all these videos, please. It's, it's the end of the dispensation of grace. It's going to be the beginning of wrath on the earth. So we will not miss the harpazo. Those of us who are supposed to go in the harpazo. Do our literal bodies go up and they're changed, or do we just, the bodies drop dead and then we meet them in the spirit only? Or are we endowed with some supernatural knowledge on earth to go through it? All I can say for sure is this, is that whatever the harpazo is, 726, and Harpax 727, it's going to happen this year. And whatever it may be, it's going to happen this year, and we're going to know. So it's not worth arguing about.
Mama always said I was born on the wild side. I guess Mama was right. When the clock strikes midnight, I'm gonna ride the lightning, feel the thunder, till the darkness pulls me under. Gonna fly on wings of fire, pray the good Lord lifts me higher. Singing oh, when they call me home. Singing oh, when they call me home. I'm gonna ride the lightning. There's a man in a black coat standing at the crossroads, with a pad in his hand and a long list of lost souls. They say flips a coin and forged out of fool's gold. There's a man in a black coat standing at the crossroads. I hope he lets me pass by.